It's the Trinity MMO Show. He is risen.
He's risen indeed.
I heard sounds out here, so I thought I may want to stop, making sure that I wasn't missing anything. But welcome once again to the Trinity MMO Show. It has been over a week, but hey, life just makes that work out that way because it was hot here. And, you know, we also deal with real life stuff too. So we adapt, we mess around, we play around. If you want to still join us, you're always welcome to join us, whether you're in a YouTube video or live chat. Now, let's get going. This week, daily quest on your game masters. The main story quest, learning skills from playing MMOs. Escort quest, trains, planes, and automobiles. MMOs or not. And some world events, okay? Welcome to episode 54. So glad you joined us for this some good old MMO news and MMO opinions. The Trinity show title always refers to a group of three closely related persons or things of threes. And guess what? We have a three of threes, and no, that does not count as four, okay? Anyways, the first three is the first Trinity, the Holy Trinity of God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Ghost. We are three Christians, so therefore we hold that to be our main focus. Second tree of the MMO Trinity of Tank, Healer, and DPS. And the third set, guess what? It's three of us. 1, 2, 3, and boom. And all of a sudden you realize, hey, that was 1, 2, 3, another Trinity of threes. And oh my gosh, you have Trinities coming out all over the place.
No way.
Okay, there you go.
Yes, way.
All right, you know, as always,
Amazing.
we have your RPG experts here to guide you and me. First up, we have SirJahzeal.
Hello.
And our resident YouTuber and Coffee and RPGs statesman and all-time YouTuber guy, Solomon SK.
Statesman, I like that.
Why that came out of my mouth that way, okay? But, you know. And
Statesman?
then there's me,
Just, you know.
Kennethan. Oh, that's right. That's why. My mind was unconsciously doing that, okay? It's time for some quests.
Oh, sorry.
That is right. It is time for some quests from your game masters, not BS. And first up is good old Kennethan with some little bit of some game news, okay? Swords of Legends Online launches July 9th. I'm planning on playing it. I got Crowfall coming out on July 6th. Okay, boomer. Well, thanks a lot, Fuzz. Interrupt our nice show here. Blizzard surveys World of Warcraft users about playing Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. It's like, that was interesting. Testing the waters, seeing what people might be playing, if not playing WoW. Tomorrow, is the new patch for their latest and greatest, and I, for one, am not looking forward to it. I'm not planning on playing it, so not going to happen on my side, okay? You know, so, are you guys doing it? I don't think JahZeal's not doing it, right?
Doing what now?
Playing World of Warcraft tomorrow with a new patch.
What's World of Warcraft?
Exactly. Exactly. I wonder if I can freeze on my face here. Oh, there you go. All right, and another reminder that Crowfall said is launching on July 6th. Now, get this, okay? Kickstarter delivery date was originally estimated to be December 2016. That's right, 2016. That's almost 5 years from when they said it's going to be launching, and it's now launching. All good things come to those who wait, right? Now. Oh. Where's that in post 2 then? Yeah.
I don't even know what you
Start
did.
over again. No. My camera was not set up right for that, so anyway. All right, start over again with that one. Another reminder that Crowfall is coming out on July 6th. Kickstarter estimate was originally for December 2016. Let's see. Today's 2021. That's over 5 years from now. 5 years later, okay? Can you beat that? Barely than never, I guess. All good things to come to who wait. But guess what? Sea of Titans, estimated to come out in November of 2015, and Camelot Unchained was December 2015. So I guess they beat them all. Oh, wait, was there some Star Citizens news? Oh, yeah, there was, but then who cares? Alpha 3.14 was released. And for those who are nostalgic for 2001, that is right, Anarchy Online is now 20 years old. Now, it hasn't happened yet. Later this year, Arcade of Camelot will be hitting 20 years old in October. So that's interesting.
Really?
I know.
Wow.
It takes me back. I didn't start playing Arcade probably until 2002. But interesting. Yeah, go back in time, you know.
That's true.
And that's me. So next up, we're going to SirJahzeal. What do you have in the world of notes for us? You know, that I will zoom in, hopefully, on you and you be correct.
Don't do it.
Wait. Who's muted? Oh, no. Okay, cool. Start over again.
Wait,
Are
what?
you serious? You muted me.
Because I'm using this OBS Ninja. It's a brand new, hey, we're trying something different, okay?
Dang it, Dad.
Jahzeal looks like the actor from the original Hellboy movie. Really?
I wish I looked like him. That dude's awesome.
All right, so start over again. Sorry. Okay.
Okay, let's
I'm
start
leaving
it.
all of this. I'm leaving all of it.
All right, fair enough. I was so worried.
It's the heat.
about-
It's 109 here today, okay? That's why it's just so hot, okay?
I was
So-
like, oh, there's not that much news this week. I was so worried about I'm not going to have enough. These other two guys are going to show me up and all this stuff. It's lovely.
Yeah, you know what? We should just end it right now. You know, just end it.
Done. Yeah, go. Yeah.
Gonna do the cut, Dad. Cut, Dad.
Nope.
Okay,
Keep
so-
going.
World of Warcraft, as I was saying, but you couldn't hear me. Maybe you can read lips. Awesome. Chains of Domination comes out tomorrow. We've been waiting for it, right? I guess
You were?
someone was at one point.
Yeah, 1 point.
Don't seem to care anymore. But Ian Hazacostas says the delay was to ensure quality and that there was lots of content for us to play. From what I've seen and heard from people that were testing it, there's not a whole lot. But, maybe they were wrong. Flying, which some people were looking forward to,
Flying.
should be able to be unlocked by your characters in Shadowlands by the second post-patch week. So 2 weeks from tomorrow, you should, by that point, have it unlocked if you feel like getting on every day and grinding for it. That's probably cool. That'll probably make some things a little better. However, please do remember that the place that you would want it the most, because it's the most horrendous to travel around, the Maw, you still can't fly in there. So
Well, you can't?
No.
Oh,
No.
jeez. Okay, never mind.
so I give up. I'm not going back to
That's
see
the place-
what this is like.
That's what I wanted to fly the most, was in the Maw.
Right.
Tired of running
Exactly.
around and falling off into the abysses that...
I hate that zone. It's one of the several reasons why I am not playing right now. So I don't know, guys. I'm trying not to be cynical about it, but I just can't be bothered anymore with it. So I will keep you up with the news, and I will be going on YouTube and looking at all the cutscenes and all that stuff and keeping up with the story. But that's really the only part of the game that I care about right now is the story, and I'm not even sure that I really care about that. I'm sorry. I wish I could be more happy about it. Anyway, moving on. There were some rumors floating around about Albion Online and that it may be coming to console. I don't play the game and don't have many friends that do, but I have a couple of friends who told me, dude, I heard that it's going to be coming to consoles. And I thought, well, okay, it went mobile, so why not? You would think it would have gone to consoles first and then gone mobile, but they want that mobile money that we've
Mhm.
talked about in the past.
Mobile money.
Yeah. So what the devs did a little Q&A, and it sounds like those rumors were a little bit exaggerated and maybe made up, because it didn't sound like they'd actually even said anything about it. But they answered that they're thinking about it. It's in there somewhere, but it definitely will not happen for the next year at the least. However, for the next year, don't worry, that doesn't mean that they aren't working on the game. They are adding all kinds of PvE content, and they definitely are working on mobile to, probably put stuff on the shop. Again, sorry for being so cynical, but um, they alluded to that if there's demand, they'll do it, but it's going to be a while. So if they haven't even started on it, I would say it's probably not going to happen for several years, because that takes time to put together, obviously. The third thing I have is that New World has concluded its Turing Aeternum.
That's right.
They did a video series. I had to look it up because for some reason I remember more videos than they actually put out, apparently. Well, what it was there were other videos that they put out about other content, but this one series that was just highlighting different areas of the game, new areas that we haven't seen yet, was the Shattered Mountain. And, I've got to admit, these videos are beautiful. The landscapes and just the variety of landscapes that they've put into the game over the last couple of years they've done really good work. And I have even seen some people saying they don't really care about playing the game. They just would kind of like to be in it and run around and view these areas, which is that's funny, but I'm sure Amazon will be just as happy taking their money for it. Again, sorry for the cynicism. It's part of my beard. Gets on my tongue. Gross. So that was the 5th video in the series. And I would say, yeah, definitely go check those videos out. They are pretty cool. I got to give them kudos. They did a good job with developing these different areas. They definitely have a very wide spectrum of different environments. So that's pretty promising, as well as the other little things that they've been doing to the game along the way, including adding all that awesome PvE content. Although it still is a pretty PvP centered game. I applaud them for what they've been doing thus far. I just hope that these environments run well on some older machines, because I do know that, I don't think we're supposed to be talking beta content. So I won't go too far other than to say that I kind of fear for people with older machines that some of this may make you have to stop eating so you can afford to buy a new graphics card. But but if you can do that, if you've got a newer machine, man, it is beautiful. It is a beautiful game. I will say.
It's true.
Yeah. So you can check that out. I believe it's Play New World is their YouTube account. So definitely, or you can go to playnewworld.com, I think it is, and check it out there. And even if you didn't have it on your radar up to this point, you're thinking, oh, I don't really care to try it. I don't think it's my style of game. At least go look at the pretty pictures and the videos, because I think they've done a great job.
Oh yeah, they have.
Yeah.
But Gutfuzz thinks somehow New World will come out when he hits 40. So
no, it's coming out this year.
What's interesting is that me and my friend Norman, who've been playing Shepherds Online, waiting for Sea of Titans, we joke around now about that. It won't come out before the Rapture. So. All right, thank you, SirJahzeal.
Yep.
Solomon, what do you have to lead us to epic questing today?
Epic questing.
The Game Master. Our statesman, epic questing. I mean, come on.
I just love your reaction. like the look of disappointment. I know I disappoint you, Dad. I'm sorry.
No.
You can't beat my cynicism for the last 10 minutes.
Uh, let's see. So there's an MMO RTS called Starborn, and the
Starborn.
studio, yeah, it's a longer name, but people just know it as Starborn. But it's not so much the RTS that's getting attention, but rather they're actually making a full-fledged MMORPG based on the MMORTS, and this so it's going to be based on the same universe. And yeah, I'm actually really excited about this one because we actually don't get a whole lot of sci-fi MMORPGs, or at least good ones at least. A lot of them seems to still stick to the fantasy route and whatnot. And yeah, this one looks to be somewhat promising because at least they have not a history. Like what's the word am I looking for? They have the credentials to pull it off.
Yeah.
Because again, I don't know how successful Starborn is, the MMORTS, but it still seems to be popular enough where it's still staying afloat, and there's enough support for the game where people are enjoying it, and the game is experiencing some level of success. And so they released like a half a minute trailer for the MMO that they're making for this game, but it doesn't really show you a whole lot. All I could really say is that it looks very similar to EVE Online, if I had to, I guess, compare it to another MMO out there. But I don't think necessarily that's what they're going for, because from the brief description that they provided, I think they probably might go more towards maybe an Elite Dangerous sort of game. But that's just my opinion. Like I mean that again, I could be completely wrong about that, so please take that with a grain of salt. But I'm just concluding that based upon what I've read so far in the description of the game, and it's really not that descriptive, and so you could actually reach a bunch of conclusions. But that, you know, or maybe I'm just being a little hopeful one way or another. So being biased, absolutely. That's not a question. So got some. Yeah, I'll definitely keep an eye on that one for you guys. There's also Aeon Classic that came out. So Aeon is also trying to do the whole World of Warcraft Classic thing where you could play the first version of Aeon that came out like almost 10 years ago, I believe. And I explained this in my latest video, but the reason why I thought I might get into it is because Aeon to me was my very first MMO experience.
Oh wow.
Because before that I'd played Guild Wars, but you could argue that Guild Wars really isn't an MMO and not in the traditional standard.
Right.
So yeah, I actually had a lot of good memories of playing Aeon. I probably played that for like maybe 6-7 years, maybe. But I don't think I'm gonna get back into it just because the grind is horrendous. I just remember the grind just occupying so much of my time. And the game is dated. And you could argue that, so is World of Warcraft, but it's not in the same way because World of Warcraft has a certain aesthetic that people are really attracted to, and it just looks dated. It just looks like a game from like the early 2000s. Sorry to say. And I might check it out just for the nostalgia, but it's not something that I'm gonna spend a whole lot of time or money for that matter. Just because, yeah, it's rough. It's rough in my opinion. And another game that I wanted to talk about is called Palia, and this is a game that I know that Asmongold reacted to, and the reason why I bring this up is because I really like it when companies take chances. I really like it when they kind of take things in a different route that hasn't really been done before, and if it hasn't been something that has been done before on a large scale. And so what the people over at Palia Online, it's not called Palia Online, but I'm just going to call it that. What they're trying to do is kind of mix between create an MMO that's a mix between Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing.
Right.
And I think that's a wonderful idea. I could care less about the Animal Crossing part, but the Stardew Valley part, yeah, I could get behind that. Just because it's not your standard, hack and slash shooting MMORPG.
Right.
This is probably going to cater more towards of the casual demographic, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, I guess you could go pretty hardcore. People play Stardew Valley pretty hardcore, or could play Stardew Valley on a hardcore level. But either way, I think yeah, the way it looks, obviously you're not going to get that, Unreal Engine 5 look to it. It looks very cartoony, but it's supposed to be, for what it's trying to accomplish. And so there's a lot of building in that game, like you would expect from a game that has a cross between Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing. There's a lot, you could also build farms and whatnot. And so maybe even yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of different ways that you could probably go with this, just between knowing what those two games are. And so again, definitely keep you guys posted on that one. I'm not exactly sure what kind of MMO it will be, because will it have a persistent world? I don't know. It's kind of a tough call, because again, you could actually build stuff, but will you be able to build it in the persistent world, and will there be a persistent world, and not something that is more akin to, say, Animal Crossing, where, or even Stardew Valley, where you actually have a handful of people in a certain instanced area, and not have an actual persistent world with it, where you can actually meet thousands of people. I hope that's the case. I hope it's the latter, but I kind of have my doubts, unfortunately. But I hope I'm proven wrong with that one.
I mean, I signed up for the pre-alpha, so I'm interested. So we'll see what happens.
Did you get something from them?
Not yet. I got to thank you.
Okay. Check out their official Discord. That seems to be the mode of
really?
yeah, their main mode of communication is their official Discord, it seems like. So
Okay.
but yeah, that's in terms of MMOs, that's about it.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Sir Solomon. By the way, guys, you could just watch his YouTube channel, Coffee and RPGs, for some of the information too. I'm grateful that he actually brings it over here to share with us, because, just in case we miss some things. All right.
You're not watching my shows?
Well, I am,
Why,
but
Dad? I'm kidding. I'm so kidding.
Meanwhile, it is time once again for the main story quest, where the Trinity Bros give you their MMO opinions. That's right. We're going to give you our MMO opinions, because we have opinions. Everyone has opinion. And what's it called? No, whatever. Anyway, so to this one up here, case, I pulled this from listening to Massively OP, the podcast. Okay, someone asked a question. I think it was one of the questions that came in from their viewers. What skills have you learned from playing MMOs? What skills have you learned? Like, and real world stuff, right? We do know there are cookbooks out there, people who've done cooking, World of Warcraft cookbooks or whatnot, right? Not necessarily you learn cooking by virtue of doing it, or fishing, or guitar playing, or whatever it is. But I'll give you an example. Bree, who's also one of the co-hosts, said that she learned about leadership because she ran a guild. She learned about organization, about how to do those kind of things. Of course, also spreadsheets too, right? They want to organize and be that. So that's a weird. And then some people do this, by the way. They put it on their resume. If people don't understand it, ran a guild, which, by the way, if a successful guild, can be a pretty much of a way to put on your resume something well. So I put it out there. For me, I'm going to answer this first, because as you guys chance to think about it a little more, okay? The skills I've learned from playing MMO is, like you said, leadership. I ran a guild, and you have to deal with this. And you have to have patience. You have to have patience. Yes, I wasn't always patient. You make some mistakes, but you had to teach and you learn to grow. And you had to also help the rest of the guilds to be, say, a little more patient with those who are slower picking things up. At some point you got to cut them. That's the hard thing too, is actually telling someone, we're sorry, you don't quite fit our guild anymore. And those are real world things that when you're a leader and a manager or maybe more of a manager out in the real world, you can learn that stuff too. Now, for me also, I talk about the fact that I'm a streamer, and therefore I've learned to better communicate. And I've heard people say they've also learned communication skills in playing MMOs too. So, SirJahzeal, what have you learned, real world skills that you've learned from playing MMOs?
I never really thought about it, but I definitely would go with the things that you just stated for sure. Running a guild, you learn leadership skills, and you learn management of other people, how to scheduling, especially if you're in a multinational company. Being able, because you're going to have that experience of, hey, there's people that play with me that are in America and Canada and Germany and over in Australia and Japan. You've got all these time zones to work with. And so when you get you do get a job that's multinational, you're going to have that down. You're going to be like, okay, I know what we need to do to make this work. I would say typing and knowing the layout of a keyboard and including the number pad, because you're going to be using a mouse and keyboard, and you're going to need to know where all the hotkeys are and all the different things that man, when I started playing EverQuest back in 98, 99, my typing wasn't so bad, but boy, did it really improve, because a lot of that back in that time period, I know now people are like, oh, we got Discord. Well, back then there were one or two apps out there that you could download to talk to people, but most people didn't have a machine that could play EverQuest and talk in a voice over IP. So a lot of it was typing. And I remember doing guild meetings where I typed everything out for our guild meeting. And boy, I'll tell you, I got really good. And now I can almost with my eyes shut, type away and know where everything is. And I think that's a skill that you most definitely will use, especially in modern jobs where you're working on a computer. I think those are like the two biggest ones that I've taken away. But I bet if I were to like sit and think about it, it'd be easy to, I don't know that I would put it on a resume, but then again, I mean, it is a life experience.
Yep.
And if you don't have any other experience, maybe that would give you an edge. I mean, and even if it gave them a giggle, I mean, I could think of as someone, because I have been in positions where I got to hire and fire people, not very often, but it would give them, if I was to receive one and someone said, oh, I'm an MMO player, I would giggle at it. But you know what? The other cool thing is that would make them stand out from the rest of the crowd.
Especially if those
and I'd be like, you know what? This is weird, but I like it. I like the spunk in this kid. Let's give him a try. So I don't know, man. So I'll do the ditto thing like Solomon, and for your stuff, and then on top of that, I'll put the knowing the keyboard and
that's a good one.
Yeah.
I mean, I always count the fact that I learned how to text when texting wasn't around when Dr. J first came out in 2001. No. And I learned the language of MMOs. LOL, ROFL, LMAO, all these different things, right? And so when texting started hitting the wave as an older person, I didn't lose. I knew exactly what was going on. That kept me young in some respects. That's also one thing I've learned from IR. It's like kept me young. So what about you? What have you learned? What real world skills have you learned from playing MMOs?
Absolutely nothing.
Oh, come on.
No, nothing.
Come on.
Like something pragmatic? Yeah, I can't think of anything.
Well, that's fine. I mean, fair enough. I mean, that's okay. I mean, it's also a question that it pops out. You start thinking like, wait, what? I already pointed the fact that I've learned how to be better communicator at streaming. I don't and ah. Okay. Like a joke I heard at work the other day. Someone said, "Hey, the guy who invented the umbrella? He meant to call it umbrella, but he paused."
I like it.
So I mean, there's obviously things in the games that like. There's like I said, cooking, but you don't necessarily cook. Okay, so it's not like you learn anything from that. But people have learned real world skills of cooking by virtue of seeing what they've seen in the game and want to replicate that. Doesn't sound the same thing. I know you can't go fishing like you do in the game, right? But there's a certain amount of patience you kind of learn from things. That's why I put it out there. I'm just curious to know what else is out there that may have missed about what can you do. So if anybody out there watching the YouTube channel right now, and you're watching this, give us some ideas. Yeah, JahzealL?
I do want to add something else pop, and I'm sure it'll keep pop even after the show. I'll be thinking, oh yeah, of course. I think that the MMOs also taught me to pay more attention when I'm reading. Now, I know some of you go, what? World of Warcraft has this bad thing where if you don't really read it, if you just try to skim over it, you're going to be lost. You're not going to know where to go, what you're supposed to do. And on top of learning better reading apprehension skills, whatever you want to call it, the thing on top of that is you could, if you're a younger person, I would say I already had this skill, but it's one that you could learn from it, is learning problem solving and learning how to go to other resources to look up information. And that could give you kind of an edge out there if you're in that type of a environment, work environment where you need to do a lot of research, because a lot of these games, you know, you got to go look up videos on how to do a certain thing, or go look to fan websites or whatever. And I could totally see that being something that you're learning, and you're not realizing that that's a skill you're developing and you're getting better at as you play it.
Yeah. So Malice kind of makes the same thing about your typing. For me, I've learned a lot about how to type on my keyboard a little bit better. He says I've also learned how to people interact with each other, and I've kind of learned how to open up. And I do have to say that MMO games he's played for 1,000 hours, has helped him read better, read a lot better. That'd be good.
There you go.
Yeah. See, who says that you can't be educational from playing a game?
It's true.
Yeah, tell your college professor that.
So what's interesting is I was doing my 35th anniversary at my company. We had a virtual because of all the COVID thing, and they like, who are you? I had my diversity slide up, all the different who I am. I mentioned I'm a Christian gamer, right? And I mentioned I'm a Twitch streamer, and before I got off my little thing, the guy who's probably his mid 30s, you know, probably mid 30s, early 40s, I don't know what he's right. He's a VP now. I knew him back when he was a lot younger, but VP. He said, I'll have to watch you on your Twitch stream. The dude knew what Twitch was. Okay, so that'd be one person I could put down Twitch. You know, I'm a Twitch streamer. Okay, I'm a very good communicator because of that. So you don't know who you're gonna meet nowadays more so than back then about who people down guild experience. You know, I remember I was part of ESO guild, Goshkia, and they've been around since Dark Age of Camelot, and they started doing their own magazine. They learned how to write and publish. I mind you, not in-game stuff, okay, but you know, still do that. All right, next up for our escort quest.
Walk with us as we escort you to safety, experience, and the adventure of a lifetime.
Trains, planes, and automobile MMOs. No, it's not the movie. Okay, it is not the movie with starring Steve Martin and John Candy and... Oh, yeah, was that it? Anyways, with the fact of E3 came out and Xbox, you know, Bethesda had their showcase of Xbox games. They had a Forza Horizon 5. Open world, beautiful looking. You're in Mexico, and you can go open world, and you can go cruise, and you can race. There's even like a 5v5 type of thing where you can just, you know, doing competitions and things, right? But they also alluded to the fact that they do open world, or can be, I mean, questing. I'm like, hey, what? I mean, it's not really, is it an RPG? You know, a role-playing game. You know, is it a role-playing game? Are you role-playing, you're a driver in a Porsche driving across Mexico? That was what I was curious to know what you guys thought about. Would you want to play a train? Obvious reasons why I mentioned that, okay? A plane, again, another obvious reason why I mentioned that. Or automobile MMO. What do you, Solomon? Would you want to play those kind of games?
I think that's already been tried and it failed miserably. The one that NCSoft made.
Oh, that's right. What was that? Oh, that's right.
I forgot.
Oh, I forgot about that one too. You're right.
So it's funny though, because ever since that game went offline, I don't think any other company tried to do anything similar
You're
since.
very right.
I can't remember either. It was called like Auto Assault. I think that's what it was called.
Yeah, it was Auto Assault.
So, I mean, I'm open to it, but would I play it? Would I be excited about it? No, not really. Train much less. No offense, Dad. Because you're on rails. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, oh, I'm gonna go faster. Oh, I should slow down. Oh, I'm gonna pick up these people. Like, I mean, just like, you know what I mean?
There's
Now,
a story at every station, you know.
That's right.
You know.
yeah, I don't. Sorry, not interested.
No, fair enough. I have got that out of one. It was funny, interesting because we're seeing like Microsoft Flight Simulator is also doing it too. You know, they're flying over realistic terrain, and people are like, I'm ready to play this game because I want to fly over. I've not been to wherever it was for years, and be able to fly over old towns I used to be at, to see what it looks like. Kind of cool. I'm thinking it's not just a flight; it's more of that. It's like the whole idea. I don't quite. It's not quite GTA where you can role play a character, but you could do that. You could add the role playing thing too. And you're right. I would not have ever thought about playing a train game, plane, or automobile MMO. That they could be stupid. Like you mentioned, Auto Assault. Never played it. Today, what's interesting is that all these other games that have gotten further on from being what they were, they're adding these things to it. So it's not just a automobile game where you can race, which is normally still there. There's more. So Azil, what do you thought? Would you maybe not in the past you did, but today would you want to do a plane, train, or automobile MMO?
Maybe. I don't know. See, there's a lot of folks that I know that do enjoy like the Euro Trucker, and I think there's an American version of that game as well. And I definitely know a lot of people that play the Microsoft Flight Simulator, and there's another flight sim that DCS World or something like that. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, yeah. A lot of people have been playing that.
So I can see that working, and a lot of people they're probably older like us that play it. I don't know. Maybe someone in their 20s would want to do it. I'm not sure, but the thing is, it's just not. When I think MMO, I don't necessarily think travel, like, and that's it. There's no, and I don't know how you would. I guess questing for like a flight sim would be get from point A to point B, or they would have like because there are places that are very difficult to land, like try to land in this place, or water landing at night on an air carrier, airship carrier or something like that. I don't know what else you could do with it unless you put real world stuff in there, like you can have a house and you can decorate it, and I don't know. I'm trying to think. What else are you going to put in there?
Everything's a fetch quest.
Yeah. It's a fetch and escort quest. Make sure
that's all you get.
Fly into a mountain.
I don't mind. I've never played the trekking games. I mean, they look like simulators. They might be fun. Flight Simulator I've done in the past, and I even remember way back doing like Chuck Yeager. That was a fun game. Yeah.
I've acquired floppies. I have that game still.
And really, I don't know how many people it is. The new Microsoft Flight Simulator, it's pretty close to an MMO. They said that you can have a lot of people on a server.
Yeah, that's the thing. So it makes you wonder about those things. Maybe blending
it may already be one, and I know that there's people that are serious about it, man. They they have like half of a cockpit in their living room, and they like
even build a cockpit.
Yeah, they dress up, and there's like people that do dispatching and from the air towers, and they're serious. And I could totally see people doing it for trains as well. I mean, do I think it's for me? I don't know. I'd probably play it once or twice. I don't know that I would.
If it was free to play, I probably would try it. Yeah, I get your point.
Oh, if it's free to play, I absolutely would try it.
Even before the latest Flight Simulator game came out, there was another version of it, the previous version. People would actually play those and actually role play like air traffic controllers and and play various pilots and stuff. And matter of fact, there's another YouTuber by the name of like Air Force Proud, like 70 something. Yeah, he would go in and just absolutely like role play an air traffic controller and confuse people, and it's just so hilarious the way he would talk. And even if you don't know anything about the lingo that the pilots use, like the way he does it is just so hilarious, and people are like really trying to like keep up with him. But I would assume that he's a former Air Force pilot himself, and so that's why he like knows all this crazy talk and everything. And it's just so hilarious, like because he'll say like all these like this crazy long sentence, like Alpha taxi runway blah blah blah, and he was like, "Can you relay everything I just said? Because apparently that's what you have to do." And people
Right.
are like, "What?" And then they get kicked off the server because they can't do it or something. It is so yeah. The role playing aspect is definitely there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the MMO aspect of it? Yeah, I think it's like you said earlier. I forgot who said it. I think it was Ken or SirJahzeal rather, that said that they're going to have massive amounts of players be able to play it, which we have been seeing because we see people trying to collide with each other and whatnot in the flight simulator game. But yeah, I think it's a growing trend too, and not to mention there's also another. It's not really an MMO. I would call it MMO light or something very similar that you see in Destiny. But Ubisoft is publishing an extreme sports MMO
The writer
called
one?
Riders Republic.
Look,
Yeah. And again, that's not really an MMO, but you still have massive
True.
amounts of people, like up to 50 players on the PC. But you get to see everybody and meet people on a central hub. But once you leave that central hub, you go into an instance
Yeah,
of
you can do like a
up to 50
6v6
people.
type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and so again, I think the landscape is definitely changing, but I welcome the change. Like screw the status quo. But again, I'd like to see a more full-fledged, persistent world. Stand or classic definition of an MMO, more so than anything else.
Yeah. You're right. Malice says he would try it. That's the thing about if free to play, I would try it. The aspects of these beautiful worlds. I mean, playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, it is beautiful beyond imagination. Okay, and it's beautiful to run around it. You're running around in it alone. That would be a
Yeah.
great world to have as a server somewhere, and you'd be able to be a Viking and having turn it into where you can kind of like a Valheim a little bit, but better graphics. So. All right, so if you're watching YouTube, or anywhere you're seeing this video, let us know what your thoughts are. Post it in the comment section. Love to hear your thoughts on this. Trains, planes, and automobiles. MMOs are there. I don't know. All right, coming up, like I said, Crowfall is coming out on July 6th. I don't know if any of you two are getting that game.
Nah.
Nope.
What's
I will.
Crowfall?
So I will be, I guess, alone in launching that game and playing it on July 6th, Tuesday,
Yeah.
following July 5th, which is our national holiday here in the United States. For those of you in Canada, you still do have a 4th of July, even though my friends in Canada said, we don't have a 4th of July. We just skip from the 3 to the 5th. New World is coming out August 31st, and all three of us will be, I'm pretty sure all three of us playing this game. We already pre-ordered it, so we'll be doing that August 31st. It will come out. All of this stuff that Amazon's been releasing tells us is coming because of the fact that they keep releasing all this stuff. To give us the hype and all that kind of stuff just will blow us away. The alpha is ending pretty soon, and then the beta will be coming in near the end of July for the closed beta, I think it is, for the actual release. So we'll do that too. Diablo 2 Resurrected, while it's not really an MMO per se, in our classic categories, we're still probably going to plan on playing it. So September 23rd, we'll do that. And then since some of us have been playing Final Fantasy XIV Endwalkers, comes out November 23rd. And so that'd be a great launch of another great part of the Final Fantasy XIV story. This is the end, I might say. This is the whole story arc ends. The whole start with the Final Fantasy XIV Realm Reborn ends with Endwalkers. Okay, and there'll be more. But the game itself is not over. There'll be something brand new coming on the horizon. Not necessarily a Final Fantasy XIV 2, but just new story and new content. So, yeah. So join us for all those world events. We'd love to have you with us and enjoy those things for us. Okay. Final FL4 rips. Well, FF14 rips. Okay, sorry. All right. Our quests are done. Dungeons are cleared. The loot has been distributed. The crafting orders have been completed. So it's time to go AFK. One of those first acronyms I learned in playing World of Darkness of Camelot. I go, what is AFK? I typed it on my keyboard. I literally typed it in. What's AFK? And someone.
And why is the healer keep saying it in the middle of fights?
And they came, and they came back and it stands for away from keyboard. Took a little while to capture that, remember that, but I'm like, I knew that from the very beginning. So AFK. There we go. Where can we find you? And what MMOs are you playing, SirJahzeal?
You can find me on Twitch, SirJahzeal, all one word. And right now, I've pretty much narrowed it down to Final Fantasy XIV, but I did add Valheim back onto the list. So I keep cutting games off and thinking, okay, I'm good. I've got enough time to actually sleep and do other things. But then I add something back on. But for right now, we're keeping it at that. And then
Find you on Twitch. Yeah.
Yeah, I said that right.
I think so. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Right,
Yeah.
Simon, what about you? Where find you at, and what MMO games are you playing?
It's been the same like since we've ever. It never changes. It's always Black Desert. Sometimes Star Wars: Old Republic. Yeah.
There
on
are
YouTube,
some
Crafting
new
RPGs.
games to play.
I mean, yeah, but
Final Fantasy.
I just can't get over the tab targeting. I really can't.
Oh,
Most MMOs have tab targeting.
Yeah, if they're bad MMOs.
World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy XIV, Star Wars: Old Republic, Darkness of Camelot. I mean, there's a lot of games. I mean, there's only a couple, very few. who are
Yeah,
not
and how
tab
old
targeting.
are those games? Like at
Okay.
least Final Fantasy
New World
when they
is going to be
first
tab
came out.
targeting. Wait,
No, it's
sort
not.
of.
No,
Not
it's
no,
not.
you're right. It's not. You're right. It's not. ESO is not tab targeting. I hear remind me Guild Wars 2, I guess, apparently is not tab targeting.
It's a hybrid. I remember it being a hybrid.
It's
See,
a
that's
hybrid.
that's
but
why
it's
that's
awesome.
why I don't play that game anymore.
Okay, yeah.
It's like what is this? What is it? 2012? Come on.
You know how nice it is to tab target when you're trying to kill something? You know, so anyways. So
Yeah.
okay, fine. You're not playing the MMOs that we play. Okay, we've been trolled, as Yoshi said. So where can we find you at?
Coffee and RPGs on YouTube.
Coffee and RPGs on YouTube. There you go. Okay. And then there's me, Kennethan. You can find me at Kennethan live on Twitter or here on the YouTube channel. I've been playing Final Fantasy XIV, ESO, and Valheim. Valheim's not really MMO, but I've been running the Valheim community night for GMA. We are now on the Co-op Trio podcast server. So join us over there, and we can build some stuff there, and we have some fun. This weekend I didn't play much because it was so hot. I didn't want to do anything physical, so I was just doing some Valheim stuff. So I did do more of that. But tomorrow night is ESO again because it's Tuesday. I try to run something with the guild, our morning song. So we'll see how it goes. And that's it, guys. That's it for today's show. Thank you for being here on a Monday for us. And what we do is on Saturdays at 6 p.m. Well, Saturdays at 7 p.m. Pacific time now. We're grateful to have Solomon back in the day shift role so we can have him here. Yoshi says,
Thanks,
I like
Dad.
things, you know.
Disappointing, Dad.
I know, disappointing. So. Join us again next week for some more Trinity MMO show. And we can we'll get you to where you need to go for the adventure of a lifetime. Check out the further adventures of Kennethan by liking and subscribing and watching me live on twitch.tv/Kennethan.